Hi, I'm Captain Terrain. Exactly 1 year ago, my Hyperion was born. It was posted to Reddit by my good friend U/Adams Corporation. I was amazed when he texted me saying it was well received. Thank you to everyone who liked my blaster. For a while now, my YouTube page has been blank, with my bio stating that on September 1st, 2021, I would post an overview of my Hyperion. That time has come. In the future, I will post a build log and explain all the various changes the Hyperion has gone through, but for now, enjoy the overview. This is my Hyperion, the second iteration. As you can see, it's a Hyperfire crammed inside most of the Centurion shell. Both shells have been sanded and painted. It's a coat of gray and white, plus an overall clear coat. At the front here we have the Centurion barrel wings, which I flipped over and reattached, which serve as motor covers on the other side and add a little bit of depth to the build. The front here, covering up the Centurion magwell, is the original Hyperfire front grip. Then I have most of the Hyperfire here with a firing magwell, fire control group, a little bit of putty to hide the seam between the two blasters. All the way in the back here we have the main battery pack with the master on and off switch. So I flip it over, see functional Nerf tactical rail on the top here, then the Centurion jam door area through which you can see both pairs of flywheels, and then on the far side you can see the motor cover covering up several of those motors, but these two are unfortunately still visible. Let's take a look at the inside. Welcome to the inside of the Hyperion. As you can see, it's pretty simple. It's just a Hyperfire running off one battery pack and basically an afterburner running off the second. I'll explain why this is an afterburner and not a second stage in a bit. Starting at the front, both of the stages are 3D printed. They both have the black smooth worker wheels. And then this first stage is mounted into the Hyperfire screw post. Second one is mounted onto custom screw posts that I had to transplant into the Centurion shell. Don't worry, it's more jank. The Hyperfire belt pusher is actually glued down because I accidentally chopped off that piece. And then the pusher motor is secured in place inside the larger housing with scrap pieces of plastic. As you can see, all my wiring is a mess. Nothing is color coded. I don't do that. I'll explain why in my build video. And for those who care, this blaster does in fact have motor braking, like a normal Hyperfire, on the pusher motor. Firing switch right there, indexed by the trigger. And then the trigger, of course, is locked in place by the rev switch. Rev switch, I'll put a larger picture on the screen of the two switches it is indexing. One of which goes to the afterburner and one which goes to the rest of the normal circuit. Further back, I have two power packs. Both of them hold 6 AA's. This front blue one is the one that powers the afterburner, and then this larger back one is the one that has the master on and off switch, and it powers the rest of the Hyperfire internals, which is the first stage and then the firing motor. Alright, now to explain myself why this is an afterburner connected to a second power source and it's not integrated into the rest of the circuit. I did try that, and the blast performed terribly and got about every 1 in 4 darts left the barrel, and then of those 1 in 4, they would all hit around 80 FPS. Obviously, that was because 6 AA's were not enough to handle 5 motors running at once. The 4 flywheel motors were taking all the juice before the pusher motor could get to it, and by the time I tried pulling the trigger, pusher motor did not have enough power to push the dart into the flywheels. So I had to disconnect them. I gave the afterburner its own power source. I gave it its own little switch attached to the rev trigger. And that was about it. That solved the problem. The original first iteration of the Hyperion just had this internal setup. It even had a stock cage and stock wheels. And that got around about 90 FPS with 5 or 6 darts a second. And I know that the afterburner on its own, going semi-auto, got around that same 90 to 100 FPS area. So combining them had some pretty nice results. While I have no way to chrono this blaster, I can compare it to my 2S Modulus on my current limited range. These blasters are not equal. The Modulus is more powerful and accurate, while at 20 to 25 feet both blasters got several laser beam darts. The Hyperion lacks consistency. But when it does fire well, it fires way harder than Iteration 1, which was around 90 FPS, and a fair bit slower than the Modulus. All in all, I clock it around 110 FPS when fresh batteries are used. While this blaster does have a lot of consistency issues, I'm very happy with where it landed. It's still a work in progress and a lot of things need to be fixed. But for second iteration, considering I was working with new techniques and technology I never tried before, I'd say it wasn't bad. I'll be continuing to improve this blaster, so stay tuned. With that, I'm Captain Terrain. Have a good one.